Okay, I have no idea what happened. Um, my stream just my stream crashed, and I have no idea why. Um, that has never happened to me before. Oh man. Okay, so if anybody, all right, so let me tweet that out here. What the fuck? What the fuck happened just now? I do apologize. That's never happened before. Hang on a second. What the fuck happened just now? Hang on a second. I'm gonna have to rename this now because, uh, yeah, I don't. I do. I apologize for that. Um, that's never happened before, and I don't know why that happened. In I was in the fucking. What was I even talking about anymore? Because I don't even remember. Yet. Okay. Well, hold on. What was I? What was I talking about? Um. Oh, I think I was talking about young champions or whatever, and my fucking shit just crashed on me. Oh well. Oh, oh well. I might as well go into this Chris Charlton stuff. I don't know what the fuck happened just now. Um, but Chris Charlton was suspended. Uh, yeah, I do. Again, I do apologize for that. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Why is my why? All right, why isn't it? Why? Hold on. I hold on a second. All right. Did I have Netflix up this whole time? Well, I didn't. I don't know what the fuck happened. That was. Hold up. Hang on. Let me. Hang on. Hold on a second. Let me. Actually, let me remove these logos here. Give me a second. I am so sorry. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. My whole. I'm going. Hopefully, it doesn't happen in the future. I don't know what happened, and I do apologize for that. Um. Uh. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Again, like I said, I do apologize for that. Um. Yeah. My fucking my shit. That's never happened before. But again, I do apologize to whatever it was. Is it because I said fuck Hulk Hogan or something? Like, uh, oh crap. So now I gotta go bring up the shit that I was gonna talk about now. Fuck. Okay, New Year's Evil. Um, I had, I had some shit that I had a lot of stuff that I was gonna talk about, and now I can't, now I can't because hold on a second. All right. let me. Actually, you know, I ain't gonna worry about the dynamite stuff. So let me look for. Okay, let me look for Stardom. Like I have to. Oh, I think they released cards now. So of course they did. But I was gonna fucking. Okay, hang on a second. Nope, that's not it. All right, schedule, and then I got to go to this. All right. So Chris Charlton, I don't, I still don't know what happened. Yeah. So I do apologize. It's never. I promise you that's never gonna happen again. I don't know what happened there. It's never happened. I don't know if I accidentally clicked something, or but my Chrome decided to be a dick. So anyway, well, let's just talk about this Chris Charlton thing here, because we're going to talk about it. I was able to talk about the other stuff here, but Chris Charlton suspended. Obviously, you guys know Chris Charlton is the English commentator for the English color commentator for New Japan Pro Wrestling, alongside Walker Stewart, who does the lead play-by-play for both Stardom and New Japan. So he has been suspended. Not Walker Stewart, but Chris Charlton was suspended by New Japan. Dave Meltzer reported that Chris Charlton was taking an indefinite hiatus after his comments about AEW and Tony Khan. Among them was calling Tony Khan a money mark and criticizing the signing of Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and Switchblade Jay White, and of their use since. Fightful Select has learned that it isn't a hiatus, and Charlton was actually suspended for 2 months. There were people on both sides of the coin backstage praising him, but others thought the comments were out of line. Not Tony Khan. New Japan's claim is that Tony Khan, the AEW and Tony Khan, did not have input in this on the suspension, which I don't fully believe, because we know how soft Tony Khan is when it comes to that shit. But we've heard that the AEW was not happy about said comments by Tony yeah. So there was so Tony Schiavone apparently, and also it may have gotten in trouble as well, because he tweeted and deleted, tagging Chris Charlton's Twitter, saying, "Hey, at real JP, speaking for all of us in AEW, go fuck yourself. And speaking for all of us who have been around you, take a shower once in a while." And he since has deleted that tweet. And tonight, and if you notice on AEW Dynamite tonight, there was no there was no Tony Schiavone around, and he quote unquote is on assignment, which is code for I fucked up and I'm in trouble. Tony Schiavone may have, there's too many fucking Tonys in that goddamn company. Tony Schiavone may have a lot of stroke backstage, may have wear a lot of different hats, but I'll tell you one hat he doesn't wear, boss. So for once, Tony Khan did something right, if this is the case, because this is the type of thing you should be suspending people for. Do I think Chris Charlton should have been suspended for his comments at Dynasty? No, because I like everyone else was under the impression that he was just working the boys. But if you really think about it, what he said there was nothing wrong with what he said, because what he said was absolutely correct. Outside of Will Ospreay may be the exception, but what the fuck has Jay White done since joining AEW? Right? He joins AEW, he was going to go to WWE, but since joining AEW, the fuck has he done? Sure, he's had 2 main event pay-per-view matches at World's End and Full Gear. They ruined him in Full Gear. They fucked him up. They gave him Billy Gunn last year as one of the worst matches in Dynamite history. stuck him in a trios, fucking trios division, whatever. They're trying to fucking do another version of the Bullet Club. Bullet Club is dead. Okay, Bullet Club been dead. I don't. Listen, all the respect to what David Finlay did. He's not the best version of the Bullet. Like, Ubu needs to stop taking some. Whatever he's smoking, I want it, because David Finlay is not the best fucking Bullet Club leader since Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega may not even be the best. You're gonna if Jay White is the best Bullet Club leader, okay? But yeah, I don't know. It's just there are a lot of soft people in wrestling when it comes to that shit. Like, who cares? It helped the fucking match. I don't give a fuck how uncomfortable Rocky Romero was or not. Who cares? You are not. Whether this is what I don't understand with fucking AEW fans, New Japan fans, or just New Japan and AEW in general. New Japan is too. The president of New Japan. I don't know if Tony Tanahashi cares that much, but the person who currently owns New Japan, the president of Bushi Road, what the fuck his name? I forgot his name, but you're gonna sit here and tell me that he fully believes that this partnership with AEW is doing wonders for New Japan. It's not, because if you really think about it, the casual AEW fan base who just watches Dynamite, just watches Collision, and at the time watches Rampage, does not give a fuck about these New Japan guys. Like, let's be real. When Ishii came out to do his match with Chris Jericho on Thanksgiving, or Christmas, it was either Christmas or Thanksgiving. I don't remember which. It might have been Thanksgiving. Not a single person. It was so it was Thanksgiving because it was a Chicago show. Not a single person gave a shit. And they sat on their hands. They didn't care. They haven't cared. They don't even care about Shibata. And that's another thing. I wish New Japan would grow a set of fucking balls. If you see AEW letting Shibata have a 20-minute match with Bryan Danielson on Collision or Rampage, it might have been Collision, but you won't clear him for 20 minutes against Tanahashi on fucking Wrestle Dynasty, something's wrong. You guys need to grow a set of fucking balls and grow and fuck off. Okay. Rocky Romero, you've also got to grow a set of balls too, because you didn't want to fucking help out with the damn United Center, not the United Center. Where were they going to do a show? They were going to do Forbidden Door somewhere last year, and then they had to move it to a different arena. And I do not remember the fucking, was it MSG? Yeah, it was in New York, right? Well, I believe it was in New York, and they were gonna think about doing Forbidden Door. I think it was Forbidden Door in MSG, and New Japan was like, no, or something. I think that's what I think it was supposed to be in MSG, but I could be wrong on that. You gotta fucking stop. Like, come on. Getting butthurt over comments like that when your partner has said worse things about WWE and GCW and shit, you have the boss of Tony Khan letting people like Malakai Black and who which hopefully is, we'll talk about him very shortly, who hopefully is on his way out. But letting people like Ricky Starks and Ray Phoenix sit at home. Ray Phoenix, who was almost about to leave AEW with when his contract was up, and then he fucking added more time because Tony Khan's a petty bitch for that. Same thing with not Ricky. Did Ricky Starks get time added to his deal? I don't know. But my point here is, why do you care when AEW really hasn't shown that they give a shit about your partnership that much? And what I mean by that is, when they bring these guys in, whether it's Ishii, whether it's Naito, whether it's Shingo Takagi, whether it's Hiromu Takahashi, whether it's David Finlay, whether it's I don't know, whether it's Zack Sabre Jr., whether it's I'm just trying to throw some New Japan names out here. Yota Tsuji or Evil, Sonata, fucking Rin Narita, Jeff Cobb, or whoever from New Japan. It don't fucking tell the audience who are watching at home who these motherfuckers are. They've had this issue with this since day one. They here's why WWE is working with this. Look at Penta. A casual WWE fan's not going to go who Penta is, but they are going to learn because of the vignettes that they've said. This dude named Penta is coming, and when they see Penta, I'm like, oh my god, this is Penta. He looks cool. He's a great wrestler. He looks cool, right? Giulia. Now, they showed Giulia in the crowd at Stand and Deliver, and people look at her and like, oh, she looks like a big deal. Look at the reaction. Listen to the reaction she got. So they're gonna go look her up, and then they watch her matches, and like, holy shit, she's a fucking superstar. She comes out, gets this massive reaction, and people are like, holy shit, Giulia's here, and now Giulia's the NXT Women's Champion. Okay, all right, we'll do another example here. All right, back in the old days of NXT, when Asuka Kana came in as Kana first signed as Kana, but when she showed up, oh my god, people are like, holy shit. They were there and they were promoting her for weeks and weeks. And then when she got called up in the main roster, what did they do? They promoted her for weeks with vignettes, letting the audience that know at home who doesn't watch NXT who Asuka is, why is she important? There's that. Okay. Shinsuke Nakamura, they didn't even have to do a vignette on him. He came out and the crowd at home, the crowd told the people at home why this man is important. Now, sure, Vince fucked that all up, but my point is they will have vignettes for people that are coming in, or they'll debut them in front of a smart crowd. And then the crowd who's there will tell the viewers at home why these people are important. For example, Jacob Fatu did not get a vignette, but when he showed up, the reaction that he got told people why this man is important, and was like, oh yeah, let's do it. The Wyatt Six is another thing, right? So, yes, most of these people were already under contract, but Joe Gacy was in NXT, whatever. Anyways, the Bray Wyatt fan base is what helped this get over, right? They did I also did the QR code because I love good ARG game, right? So. And I like horror, so that works out well. But I mean, of course I do, because look, Halloween 1987 is or 1978 is my favorite horror movie of all time. I just thought, but let me get back to my point. The vignettes and stuff that they did for that helped this group. This helped this group. People care about. Before the Wyatts, no one gave a shit about Dexter Lumis because who the fuck is Dexter Lumis? But when they start doing these vignettes and all this shit, people start caring about Dexter Lumis. People start caring about Nikki Cross again. People are now care about Joe Gacy, and I don't need to say anything about Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan. They have. Also, they have special connections with Bray and Brody. So again, vignettes will help establish the talent you're bringing in. What's up, Joe? So John, this is okay. So this is my second stream because my first one just fucking crashed on me. I don't know what happened. I must have accidentally hit something. So right now, if you are just joining me, I'm talking about the Chris Charlton thing and why AEW shouldn't, or New Japan really shouldn't give a shit, because AEW has, like I said, AEW has not cared that much about the New Japan crossover. Like these just finally started doing something to Stardom. They showed they've been showing vignettes of Mina Shirakawa, but they don't look, and this is another thing with the Joshi stuff, and I'll talk about that in a second when I talk about Giulia. When AEW and Tony Khan looks at Mina Shirakawa, they don't see her as a Joshi wrestler. That's not what they like her for, okay? Because they've seen the type of views that she gets, and it's I love Mina, okay? I love her, but that's not why they want to sign her. It has nothing to do with Stardom, because if they gave a shit about Stardom, Azumi would have gotten a video package before her match with Toni Storm on Collision. Didn't. Nope, she did not. They didn't even give credence to show who Momo Watanabe or Tam Nakano was when they did the Forbidden Door match back in July or January or June, wherever it was. Right? Let's talk about tonight's show on Dynamite, right? I'm not going to go into deep though, but they did a 3-way on the show, and they had Willow Nightingale versus Toni Storm versus Chris Statlander, I guess, entry into the casino battle royal, whatever it was. They mentioned the Tokyo Dome match that Willow Nightingale had, right? Her Tokyo Dome debut. Did they mention who won the match? Did they mention the other participants in that match? No, they didn't. Why is that? I wonder why. They do not give a fuck. Unless it's now, if Willow Nightingale won it, they would be praising up and down. You know they would. They fucking would. They don't even, the fact that Athena, who's under contract with AEW, they didn't even bother to mention that she was in the match too. They don't give a fuck. Here's the thing. They showed, the night was the first time that they ever had, this is the first time they've mentioned that Dynasty took place this past weekend. Because they have not once attempted to promote this show. They haven't promoted the show at all. They didn't promote that the Young Bucks were going to wrestle on this show. They didn't promote that Kenny Omega's returning into the ring on that show. They didn't promote that Brody King was going to go to Japan. They didn't promote that Willow Nightingale and Athena were going to be in that international 4-way. They didn't promote that. They didn't promote Jack Perry was going to wrestle Yota Tsuji. They didn't promote that Claudio was going to wrestle Shota Umino. They didn't promote that Ricochet was going to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. They didn't promote any of that. They didn't even, when they did a video package for the show, they didn't show any of the people involved in the matches outside the AEW talent that they give a shit about. For example, they showed the Kenny Omega match, but they only showed bits where Kenny Omega was doing Kenny Omega stuff. They did not at all give a shit. They show the Konosuke Takeshita. They didn't even promote. They promoted Wrestle Kingdom on January 5th. They could promote, the only time that they promoted anything that was happening at the Tokyo Dome was the Konosuke Takeshita winning retaining against, oh my God, who did Powerhouse Hobbs at World's End, and mentioned the Shingo Takagi match, even though they gave the wrong date and the wrong show. No, and then they gave the correct date, but the wrong show. Okay. But my point is they don't care. They don't care. When when Mina Shirakawa eventually signed signed with the AEW, they will not give a single fuck about whoever else is on that Stardom card or Stardom roster. Right? Maybe they'll try to get Tekla, but that's about it. And they'll probably just stick Tekla on fucking Ring of Honor, like anybody watches Ring of Honor, right? So it just baffles me that they and New Japan AEW would give a single flying fuck what Chris Charlton said about what he said, which was correctly, by the way, whether it was a shoot or not, has been right about. Sure, you can make an argument with Will Ospreay, but he is absolutely correct about Okada and yes, I know people are gonna say, oh well, Okada won the Continental Classic. I'm like, okay, so did Eddie Kingston. They didn't make a big deal about Eddie Kingston winning the Continental Classic. they even before he got hurt, they have not once made a fucking care in the world. Okada wasn't even on the show tonight, by the way. Yeah, Kenny Omega was on the show tonight. No mention of Kazuchika Okada at all. But winning the Continental Classic, I've been told it was a big deal. It's not. It never was. It's just Tony Khan doesn't want to send most of his big talent to New Japan for a G. He did not want to send Bryan Danielson to the. Bryan Danielson wanted to do the G1, and Tony Khan was like, nope. It just baffles me that the whole thing with New Japan and all that shit. Like, who cares, right? I like Chris Charlton. A lot of people don't like Chris Charlton's way of doing things, but without Chris Charlton, I guarantee you, and this is, I don't know when or how long Chris Charlton's been with New Japan, but I guarantee you, if y'all didn't have Chris Charlton on these shows at New Japan, which is with English commentary, you would not know who any of these fucking people are. For example, if you went into watching Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, Wrestle Kingdom for the first time, and then you watch Dynasty, you would not have, without Chris Charlton, you would not have a single fucking clue who Shingo Takagi was. You would not have no single fucking clue who Yota Tsuji was. You would have no fucking clue who Hiromu Takahashi was, or Evil, or Hiroshi Tanahashi, or Zack Sabre Jr., or actually, you would probably know who Zack Sabre Jr. was because he'd been on AEW television. Shota Umino, you wouldn't know who the fuck Hiroki Goto was. You wouldn't have known who Great Khan was, or I don't know who else was on the fucking show. The people in the ladder match. You probably would know who TJP was because he was in WWE. You would recognize the name David Finlay because he is the son of Fit Finlay. But I guarantee you, had you not, if you didn't have Chris Charlton there, you wouldn't have known who the fuck Yota Tsuji was, or Shota Umino, or like I said, any of those names. And if they were cutting promos in Japanese, you wouldn't fucking know what they're saying because he wouldn't be there to translate for you. So, if I was you, putting a little more respect on Chris Charlton's name, okay? I feel bad that Walker Stewart had to be, for the most part, called New Year's Dash by himself. Because some fucking people in New Japan and AEW got fucking petty, got their feelings hurt, because the truth was spoken by the way AEW has handled New Japan Pro Wrestling talent. Right? They had Chris Jericho. They signed Katsuyori Shibata I don't know, last year sometime, and they had this man lose to fucking Chris Jericho on live television on fucking Legos and shit. Chris Jericho in 2024, now 2025, should not be beating Katsuyori Shibata, a man who almost died, by the way. And this would piss me off with the whole shit with with fucking JD from New York too, because he on his fucking show said nobody gives a shit about New Japan, and then he went right into saying, "Oh, MJF is the greatest thing since sliced bread." No, fuck off. MJF is not the greatest thing since sliced bread. MJF is probably one of the worst fucking things about about that company. Why? Because he says the same fucking shit that he's been saying for the last 5 years. His shtick never changes. They tried to turn him babyface. It worked for like a month and a half, and then it got fucking boring. That's MJF. Boring. One of the most boring AEW world champions I have ever seen him. The dude was a constant channel changer. He brought the ratings down because people tried to tell me, "Oh, he will gladly be a ratings draw as the AEW champion." No, he was not. Man, you see, this is why I don't review AEW television anymore, because I get fucking angry with the stupidity online, the stupidity from the offices of the AEW, the stupidity from people from New Japan who got fucking butthurt over comments that were 100% accurate by a guy who is trying to make a storyline feel important, way more important than it has to be. And if they would have just let him do it, you know, it would have been funny, or not funny, but great. Kept this as the storyline, make it a big deal as part of a storyline, and then you'd have something for Forbidden Door coming up in June of 2025. Because that concept is fucking dead. I'm sorry. I do not give a shit to see anyone's rematches in fucking Forbidden Door. Okay? We've had our Okadas and versus Danielsons. We've had our Ospreys and Omegas. We've had our Okadas. And we're going to get Okada versus Kenny Omega in Texas for All In. Right? They're not even gonna do that match again under New Japan rules and stuff. Yes, unfortunately, MJF is carrying around a stupid ass ring no one gives a shit about. That's another thing. They made a gimmick for him that no one cares about. If no one else is gonna win it, why the fuck should I care about it? But anyway, now I'm gonna go into something I've been very excited to talk about all night. About as soon as the story broke, is Malakai Black. Yes. So, John Lee says, what is even the reason to, I don't fucking know why Kip Sabian isn't in the whatever the fuck that company, that damn thing is. Like, Kip Sabian's never been important to AEW, so why are they trying to make him like he's been important before? But let's talk about Malakai Black. That's somebody I want to talk about because that's actually somebody who I think deserves a lot better than what the fuck he's been given in AEW. So we had a match, a very good match, by the way, between Will Ospreay and I'm gonna say Malakai and Buddy Matthews, right? Buddy Matthews is great. I'm glad they're actually doing something with Buddy Matthews. I'm glad they're actually going to do something with Brody King. Hopefully, knock on wood, right? So, like it's an excellent match, right? Will Ospreay is great. Buddy Matthews is great, but it's what happened after the match. People talking, which was Ospreay effectively said something along the lines of, you know, you don't need to be martyr or follower or something like that. If you need somebody to be in your corner, I'm going to be your guy. I know also he called him Buddy Murphy, which was pretty funny. As they shook hands and all that stuff. So a lot of people like, oh, that's an interesting line. And then Fightful came out with the report that said, if I can find it, Malakai Black may be very well finishing up. Malakai Black may very well be finishing up with AEW on this week's episode of Dynamite. Will Ospreay defeated Buddy Matthews and encouraged him to step out of the shadow of Malakai Black. He didn't say Malakai Black by name. This led to much inquiry regarding Malakai Black's status in AEW. Those we spoke to in the company were of the belief that he was finishing up with AEW if he hadn't already. They did not clarify if he'd be appearing on TV again. Fightful reported that there were option years after 2024. Tony Khan has previously noted that Malakai Black was under contract until 2027. That is full of shit, obviously. Even Malakai Black said that was full of shit. To be clear, we can't say definitively that Black's contract is up or that an option has been declined, picked up, or anything transactional. Malakai Black is still listed on the AEW's official website under the roster page, but he is booked for a CCW match for a show at CCW in Florida on January the 11th. Buddy Matthews resigned last year, so I think that was from Russell Pierce. I think Edu had mentioned that, or somebody mentioned that, but I don't see Buddy Matthews going anywhere. I would love to see Brody King in WWE, but this story should not be surprising to any fucking body who has been following this whole thing with will he or won't he leave for AEW, leave AEW. I've tried to explain this to people multiple times. All right, and I'm not trying to get on Malakai's bad side or anything because he's one of my favorites. But if you guys know the day that he was fired from WWE and went on Twitch, the man it came out of his mouth that he said that he didn't want to leave WWE, but he got fired and there was nothing he could do about it. Right now, there's hopeful that Triple H could have brought him back, like he did with Samoa Joe, but he had already made the option to go to AEW because whoever it was at the time in charge of handling contracts was very much dumb enough to forgot to give Malakai Black or Tommy End. I'm just gonna call it Tommy End to make this easier for me. They just forgot to up his contract to a main roster deal, and he had the NXT deal, which was only 30 days. How you fucked that up, I don't know. So I had also heard that Malakai Black is basically done. This should have been obvious from the Adam Cole match that he was checked out. He's been checked out for a while. Let's be real. If we're going to be honest here, Malakai Black has been checked out from AEW for quite some time here. The rumor was that he asked for his release back after All In 2022. No, All Out 2022. That didn't happen. Or was that All Out or was it 2021? I think it was 2022. During the whole Brawl Out stuff. So he's wanted. So I feel like I think he's. My thing is, it's kind of very funny that people try to, think they know what's going to happen with if he went back to WWE. Like, no, you don't. He was going to feud with Big E. They had plans for that motherfucker before then. They just fucking fired him. But obviously they can't finish those plans now because right now Big E, as of right now, there's no plans for him to come back to the ring. But and I saw somebody online. I'm not going to mention his name because he was really dumb enough to actually say this out to actually utter these words that he said, and I quote, I hope he realizes that when he goes back, if he goes back to WWE, it's not going to be any different from when he was last time. I'm like, motherfucker, he was the last person who booked him was the man who's no longer there. Vince McMahon was the last person that had Malakai Black in WWE. And guess what? Vince McMahon is long gone. Guess who's in charge now? The same guy who gave that man a presentation of a superstar in NXT. The same guy who actually gave him a singles title, by the way, the NXT title. Has Tony Khan thought about giving Malakai Black a singles run with the TNT title or the AEW World title? No, he hasn't. He gave them the Trios Championships. And guess what? If I'm going to be completely honest with you, those titles have not been important since the House of Black Adam. They put them on the fucking ass boys. Or not the ass boys. What the fucking they fucking did? Who was that? Goddamn. The Acclaimed because they just wanted to do that. The fucking Acclaimed didn't need the Trios titles. They did nothing with them. And then they fucking fused them with whoever was the fucking champions, and then they fucking split them apart. Like, what? Like, why? And now they're on the fucking Death Riders, and that shit is boring as well. So, and by the way, that whole thing of, not wrestlers nobody has creative control in AEW. I'm like, yeah, I don't believe that at all, because if they don't, then Tony Khan should be excommunicating these storylines that no one cares about. For example, no one cares about the Death Rider stuff. They want that to end. No one cares about whatever the fuck Mercedes has done, because Mercedes is not doing it. They just belted this woman up more, like she needs it. And so, whatever. Anyways, I'm just, if he's getting out of AEW, he's going to go back to a guy who appreciates him, by the way. There is not a more bigger Tommy Inn fan in WWE than Paul Levesque. Aleister Black will be fine in WWE because he was doing fine under Triple H. We don't even know how his AEW and his NXT title run was going to be because he got fucking hurt. And then they scrapped whatever plans they have for that. I don't even know, I don't know if Tommaso Ciampa was not supposed to, I don't know if Tommaso Ciampa was supposed to get as hot as he did in 2018. And I think they were probably going to plan to have the title on him a little longer. And this few week Ciampa Gargano became red hot. And they kind of had the course correct on that. But, yeah. It's just, yeah, you can tell that man just didn't want to be there anymore. Especially after CM Punk left, I'm like, dude, if you, my thing now, and I joke with this, but like, just punch out Jack Perry or choke Jack Perry or something, because that seems to work for a lot of, and it worked for CM Punk. You know, I'm like, Phoenix, if you want out, just punch Jack Perry. Come on now. Don't actually punch Jack Perry. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. Just saying, it was a joke, but it's what it is. It is what it is, and who cares? All right. But I can't wait to see Aleister Black back in WWE. So yeah, that feels like Aleister's only thing that he was doing was the dark room shit, and it's like, fight me, and I'm like, that's not how Aleister Black was presented on NXT. Aleister Black was presented as a big fucking deal. And They had this undefeated streak on the main roster, and they didn't even know they had it. And they wanted to give this man a championship in front of no fans. At least I'm thankful, even though Io won it during the pandemic era, but she won it in front of some people, and then obviously when she went to the main roster, she finally won the WWE Women's title in front of a fucking stadium full of people. So, she may do it again at WrestleMania. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I think. So that's all the stuff with Malakai Black. I do think he's on his way out if he's not already. And no, if he is leaving, I don't think we're gonna see him again on AEW television. And I don't think we're gonna continue with the House of Black gimmick anymore. I mean, they might still go with the whole stuff, but I don't think they're going to call it the House of Black anymore. So they don't need to call it the House of Black anymore because, I mean, they could. Obviously, WWE is still using the Wyatt Six, and Bray's no longer with us, but we'll see on that end here. NXT. I mentioned NXT had their New Year's Evil show, which I quite enjoyed a lot more than I fucking enjoyed in AEW. We've seen title changes on AEW on fucking New Year's Evil. Giulia and Roxanne Perez started the show off, and when I saw that, I'm like, oh god, no, they're not going to do it. And then they almost fucking did. I was about to go find Shawn Michaels and strangle him because I'm like, do not do this shit again. But they had an excellent match. Roxanne and Giulia. I thought they had a much better match than they had in Chicago. Sure, it was all right. I mean, I feel like more like an appetizer, but Giulia, now the NXT Women's Champion, rightfully so. Very happy for her. She is now the fifth Joshi wrestler to win a championship in NXT. She's the third overall Joshi wrestler, former wrestler to win both the World of Stardom Championship and now the NXT Women's Championship. As far as I know, Giulia Hart is still part of the House of Black. Don't get me started with that Giulia Hart stuff now, because that whole thing doesn't make a lot of sense to me right now either. But I just thought it was quite funny that the night that Giulia wins the title is when Triple H is in the crowd. Like, this man, like, he had a giant smile on his face when he went to go congratulate Giulia. I'm like, wait, this is quite funny too, because I looked at his Twitter page last night when it comes to the NXT show, and the only thing he retweeted from that show was Giulia winning the NXT Championship Women's title and Oba Femi winning the NXT title. That was it. He didn't give a fuck about Eddie Thrope. He didn't give a fuck about. I mean, he probably does care about Stephanie Vickera, but he didn't care about Lexis King or whoever else was on the show. I feel like I'm starting to wonder now if he went to the show to make sure that Shawn Michaels put the title on Giulia. I don't know. What's next for Roxanne and Trick Williams? Main roster. I think. Well, I don't think Trick Williams is ready for the main roster either. I don't know. I think Trick Williams is one of those people that has the end then the bell rings type person. I don't know if Corey Graves is. That's another thing. Corey Graves was on commentary last night. I don't know if it's a permanent move or not. PW Insider claims that it is. Fightful says it's not, so I don't know. I don't have a problem with it, but I understand why people would. As we know, Joe Tessitore Joe Tessitore is now the voice of SmackDown, and I'm assuming Wade Barrett's going to take over whatever spot that's going to be for whoever. So we'll see. We'll see on Friday. We'll see whether or not we'll see who joins Joe Tessitore on SmackDown. So we'll see that air. I would call up both Cora Jade and Roxanne. I feel like Roxanne's going up. I think, given that Cora Jade, I've thought about this for a while. I do think they're going to go ahead and do the Cora, because they have not done the Cora Jade Roxanne Giulia match yet. So my thinking is they were waiting until Giulia won the NXT title to do that match. I think they're gonna do. So I think Roxanne gets called up in the Royal Rumble, and I think when are they doing? Because they did announce. They did announce New Year's Evil. Let's see. Not New Year's Evil. What the fuck is that show? NXT Vengeance Day. So it's on February 15th. They don't have any matches announced for that show yet, but I'm gonna assume they're just gonna do Giulia versus Cora Jade on that show, and Giulia wins that match, and Cora Jade goes up to the main roster or something. Because Stephanie McMahon won the number one contenders match for the NXT North American Women's style. Woo. And then for whatever reason they had fucking, what the fuck is her name? Shotzi pin Fallon Henley, and for some weird reason, right, like not even minutes later, they did a backstage segment. Stephanie McMahon and Fallon Henley were talking to each other. And then in walks Shotzi saying, "Oh, I should be the number one contender." I'm like, but you didn't win a number one contenders match. The person who won, the woman in front of you is the person who won the number one contenders match. And then we had Fallon Henley be like, that's a great idea. These two should wrestle, and the winner should be facing me. I'm like, all right. And for whatever reason, Ava thought this is a great idea. I'm like, no, it's not. Why should Stephanie McMahon automatically have to give up her title match that she earned? What? And I also want to bring this up too, because some weird ass people on social media said, why are Giulia and Stephanie McMahon being, I don't know. I don't understand why. This is not New Japan. This is not Stardom. Okay, I don't. This is one thing I don't like. This is where this happens in almost every wrestling company now, and it does get annoying. Just because you pin the champion, you should not be getting a fucking championship match when you've done. Shotzi has not been back that long, and they're already gonna give her a shot at a championship. What? No, I like Shotzi, but come on now. Stephanie McMahon actually earned her title match. She won a number one contenders match. What the? See now I had. So what I think is gonna happen here? So somebody asked, some weirdo on social media was like, "Oh, why is Giulia and Stephanie McMahon getting quote shoved down our throats?" I'm like, wait, I quote tweeted this person. I said, wait until you find out how much WWE is paying Giulia. The type of money that woman is making should tell you why they're pushing her the way they are. Giulia is not making NXT style money. She is making main roster money on NXT. She's not going to be in NXT for very long. I know a lot of people saying, well, why is she being stuck in the North American title picture? I'm like, well, one, they got to keep her busy for a while, because the plan is to do Stephanie McMahon versus Giulia at Stand and Deliver. Now, somebody pointed out an idea that I don't know if they're going to do, but I wouldn't be against it, and that is Victoria winning the North American Championship, taking it all the way to Las Vegas, and they do Giulia versus Stephanie Victoria, winner takes all. I wouldn't be against it, but I feel like they've kind of teased Ruka versus Zarya, which Zarya hasn't been on TV in a while, so I hope she gets back soon. But yeah, I'm not against the idea of doing a winner take all match, but all I know is as long as we get to just Stephanie Victoria versus Giulia at Stand and Deliver for the title, I don't care what it is, whether it's a winner take all or stipulation match or whatever. As long as that's the match, I don't care. So, but we'll see on that end there. Oba Femi, like I said, is the new NXT champion. He was. I feel like it was always going to be. Yeah, this is also an interesting point here that WWE, in the span of a whole weekend, all three of their major women's titles changed hands. Tiffany Stratton won the WWE Women's title on SmackDown. Rhea Ripley regained the Women's World Championship on Raw, and Giulia won the NXT title on NXT. I'm just saying. So I think that's pretty cool. And what a bunch of company to be with in Giulia. Look at the past great NXT Women's Champions, and I'd say great women's champions because I'm not counting the fucking bullshit that we had. Listen. Sure, Paige is the first NXT Women's Champion, but was her title reign that memorable? Not really. Was Charlotte's first reign, I think, was better than her second reign. I'll just leave it at that. I think Becky had a great run as the NXT Women's Champion. I think Shayna Baszler, her two runs, I think her second run, was better than her first run. Io, a lot of people underrate Io's title run. I think she had a great run. She had killer matches as the NXT Women's Champion, obviously with Dakota Kai and outside her last one. She even brought Shotzi to a great match. Tegan Nox had a great match there. I don't know if the Shotzi match was for the title or not, but it was during her title run. She beat Charlotte and Rhea in the same night to win it. Kyrie is an interesting one because I loved her title win. I thought it was a very unique way of doing it. I think she should have held it. If they were going to put the title all back on Shayna, I'm not mad that they put the title back on Shayna because Shayna had that great run with it. But I would have not done it at I wouldn't have done it at Evolution because I just wouldn't have done it. I would have had Kyrie retain, and then if you want to put the title back on her, wait until the War Games show to do that. That's what I would have done because then you would have debuted Io on that show, Blunt Night and stuff, and then I would have put the title back. And I've said this a lot of times, and then I would have put the title back on Kyrie, and then you do the whole build with Io and Kyrie for the title, and all that stuff there. So again, speed to recover to Kyrie. So Kyrie had I liked Kyrie's little short run with it. If I'm going to be honest with you, Athena as the NXT Women's Champion. I'm going to be honest with you. I was one of those people that wasn't the biggest Ember Moon fan when I first seen her. She's grown on me now, but I just didn't like her NXT title run. I don't know what it was. I thought it was kind of lackluster. And when she won it, in a 4-way that even though I get it was her hometown and stuff, but I personally I think that's when Nikki should have won it. Nikki Cross. I know I kind of figured they weren't going to put her on Kyrie because I feel like they wanted to do Asuka and Kyrie, and then Kyrie beat Asuka for it. But The only other person that was close to beating Asuka in NXT before they decided to have Charlotte do it at WrestleMania was Nikki Cross. If there was a person that I thought should have beaten Asuka for the title, that was Nikki Cross, but they didn't do that. Man, imagine Sanity, Nikki Cross. Imagine if they had Sanity with the tag titles and kept the tag titles, and they put the women's title on Nikki Cross. That would have been a very interesting. And then you could have had Eric Young with the NXT title, and you'd have Sanity as fucking all champions. It would have been very interesting. I hated the Mandy Rose's title run, which is why I never talked about it. People say, "Oh, it's a great run." I'm like, "Oh, the fuck it was not." Same thing with Raquel Rodriguez. She had a terrible run as the champion too. She should have dropped it to the fucking Dakota Kai instead of fucking man. Whoever thought of the idea of the drop it to man? Oh, it was Shawn Michaels. That's what it was. Should have been Dakota Kai. Let's be real. And then do you guys remember when Raquel was the champion and they did the match at I want to say it was, I think it was 36. I think that was the show. Takeover 36. I think that's the name of the show. That's when they had Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly main event. They did the match with Dakota Kai and Raquel because that was obviously the obvious setup there. But do you guys remember they had the match ended and then at the time she was called Kaylee Ray come out, interrupt the celebration or whatever between that Raquel had and whatnot, and they just never follow that up like at all. Do you guys remember that? I remember that, and I fucking hated it. I think this was after the Walter lost, Gunther dropped the title to Giulia, but the NXT UK title. But they had the longest reigning NXT UK Women's Champion, probably the greatest NXT UK Women's Champion to come out, and they fucking just didn't do anything with it. That's another one who should have won the two. If it wasn't going to be Roxanne, which it ended up being, which is weird, but Roxanne, listen, I think Alba Fire should have won the fucking title at Halloween Havoc that year. I don't know why she didn't, but she didn't. John Lee says, would we still have talent like Roxanne Tatum, etc. if 2.0 was never a thing? Yeah, I would say so. Roxanne, I would absolutely say would have been going to WWE regardless if there was a 2.0 or not. Especially if Triple H was still running NXT, absolutely he would have fucking signed Roxanne. Because, like you said, he loves the independents, and Roxanne was, as Roxy was killing it on Ring of Honor. So before Tony Khan ruined it. So Tatum, I don't know because I know Tatum Paxley was not I don't think she was an indie talent prior. Let me look here. Now I'm not entirely sure. Let me look here. I don't think she was. No, she's okay. So she's not a former talent. So former, indie wrestler. So, but I would say without 2.0, I would have said yes to Roxanne. I'm not sure about Tatum. There are names I do think would have still signed with WWE regardless of the 2.0 thing, like Roxanne, like Braun Breaker. I would have probably said the same thing. I can't say Trick Williams and Carmella was already signed, so I can't really that doesn't count. Who else? Tiffany Stratton, maybe. I would say Tiffany Stratton too, because obviously, I mean, look at Bianca Belair. She didn't have no. She she signed as as a, oh my god, what was she doing prior? Track and field, I believe it was, whatever. But yeah, I would say some of those names would have absolutely happened signed regardless of 2.0. There's some names there's some names I'm not too sure about, like for example Nikita Lyons or Kalani Jordan or Fallon Henley or those names. I don't know. So like for example, the toxic attraction stuff was happening before 2.0 became a thing. So yeah. But yeah, again, I don't think so who do I think is ready for the main roster is a question I think a lot of people should ask me quite a bit. Roxanne has been ready for the main roster for the entire year. I do think had Giulia Lola Vice, I don't know. That's another thing. Maybe because she's got that MMA background. Because look on the MMA. I wouldn't say MMA, but like the background that some of the wrestlers they did sign. Like Xia Li and some other names. For example, so Shayna Baszler as well. So we'll see on that one. But Roxanne has been, like I said, I think had Giulia not gotten hurt in that first Marty Gold show, Giulia would have been at Heat Wave and probably would have won the title and we would have had Giulia as champion for quite a few months. But that didn't happen. So now we're getting ready for Roxanne to come up. I would have thought Oba Femi. Oba Femi is something because I did think Trick Williams was going to retain and we were going to get Oba Femi on the main. Oba Femi is ready for the main roster, my guy. He's already ready for that. Who else is being roster ready? Ethan Page. I think it's getting called up to the main roster sooner rather than later. They're obviously going to have to call up some names, especially with SmackDown going to be 3 hours for a couple months. And then you got the Netflix stuff here. They're going to need some names. So we'll see on that end here. We'll see on that. But overall, so The Rock was on the show. I have to point this out here because if I don't, I'm going to forget about it. What the hell was The Rock? Like, what the hell was that? What the heck was all of that? The Rock said some stuff. He basically said a bunch of nothing that no one cares about. So, again, if it hasn't sunk into a lot of Bloodline fans already, The Rock is not doing WrestleMania. Sean Spears, I don't think is getting called up because Sean Spears is in the middle of a program right now with somebody. I don't know who it is, but no. Sean Spears. I think Sean Spears would rather be in NXT right now to help out the young talent since he's got a school and everything now. So, yeah. So I don't know. The Rock stuff was weird. Yeah, again, I don't think The Rock is doing WrestleMania. There's really no need for The Rock to be at WrestleMania. Look at the name. Look at the potential matches already been rumored and discussed and pitched and predicted for a lot of people and just fantasy and just wish lists. Like, look at this. Look at these matches. I'm just gonna name matches off the top of my head that sound so much better without The Rock being involved. Right. I'll start with the undercard matches. Right. We're gonna get some type of multi-ladder match, tag title match for either titles at WrestleMania. And that's obviously going to involve teams like DIY and Motor City Machine Guns and on that end, and the Street Profits and maybe Legado too. I don't know. And then over on Raw side, you have the War Raiders, the Wyatts. Well, obviously the Wyatts are going to be doing something else at WrestleMania, but those are the name I just threw in there. The LWO. Eventually, eventually we're going to get the Lucha Bros in WWE. So that, I mean, Pentas are going to be in WWE by then, but obviously he's coming up next week. But you know, you'll have the Lucha Brothers in the tag team division soon. You're going to have American Made on either Raw and SmackDown. Hopefully the way's up the excuse me. Braxium eventually will be making up to the main roster. So there's that. Singles, other matches that are possible for WrestleMania. Obviously, one match is not confirmed, but penciled in is the Wyatt Six versus the Judgment Day. By that point, I don't think Finn Balor is going to be in the Judgment Day. But I thought about them having Finn Balor, but then I realized I'm like, well, if Finn Balor stays in, then that's like 4-on-3 when it comes to the men and the Wyatts. And it would just make no sense. So you take Finn out. You have Dom, JD, and Carlito to go up against Rowan. Actually, no. Finn Balor would have to stay in there then. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking about here. Because then Finn will probably have to deal with the Uncle Howdy. And then the other three would have to deal with Rowan, Gacy, and Loomis. And obviously, Liv would have to deal with, I guess, Alexa and maybe Nikki Cross. Assuming Alexa, because right now, according to Fightful, right now there's no concrete, like they have heard nothing on the front of Alexa Bliss coming back. So creatively, she's gonna be back. There's just nothing creatively planned for her right now. I've heard the same thing. So, oh man, he brought in an AEW question, and man, okay, ooh. Who? All right. So, who from AEW? Who think in AEW needs a repackage and a character change for people from? So are you asking? So is it like 2 men and 2 women, or 4 men and 4 women? I need clarification before I can answer that one. Well, John, it depends, because right now, like Sean Ross Sapp said, he's not heard of any creative plans for I'm gonna say Becky Lynch for Alexa. I haven't heard anything either. So it wouldn't surprise me. Oh, 4 men and 4 women. Okay. Ooh, that's tough. I think MJF is one, because I went on a rant earlier and it said MJF has done the same character since he's been the same fucking character for however long he's been wrestling, and the stick does get old. That would be one. Another male wrestler from AEW. Ooh, that's tough. No, I wouldn't change anything about Brody King. He's great as he is. Same thing with Buddy Matthews. Will Ospreay's doing fine, so that doesn't. Yeah. I would love to see a more serious Okada. More of a New Japan style Okada in AEW. The same Okada that everybody has said is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Thunder Rosa's a good shout. Brian Keith. Well, I don't know. Brian Keith is interesting. Brian Keith needs to get the hell away from Chris Jericho first. I would have said Chris Jericho, but then that means he would have to stay around, and I don't want Chris Jericho to stay around. So, well, here's the thing though with the United Empire thing. See, Will Ospreay left United Empire, so it would have made. I don't know, because United Empire, I believe, are heels right now. I think. I don't know. I can't remember. I think they are. I would have to look. I would have to ask. I would probably have to ask Walker Stewart since I got to catch up on my New Japan. But I think United Empires are still heels. Let me look at the AEW roster here because now you've put me on the spot here, and I was not thinking that far ahead here. Let me bring up my sheet here because that's where I have my AEW roster here. I think John Moxley needs to maybe John Moxley, but I'm not gonna throw his name out there yet. I was not prepared for that AEW question there. Hangman Page is fine. Swerve is fine. Adam Cole, I don't know, maybe. See. So I've said MJF. I just want Jay White to be treated more with more respect. Okada, that's okay. That was the second one I said. Let me look here. I'm looking here. Good question. I'll have to come back to that one on the men's side, but women's one, Thunder Rosa maybe. I've heard that name thrown out there. If I said Hikaru Shida, I would have been like, yeah, they're never gonna use her again though. Well, not use her again, but I'm gonna take her seriously, which I mean. Don't get me started on Sammy Guevara. I don't want to talk about Sammy Guevara. I think Mercedes should have a whole character overhaul because her character does not work at all in AEW. Assuming Britt Baker is going to stick around for a while, Britt Baker should be changing her character up because her character kind of is annoying. I love what they're doing with Tony Storm right now, so I wouldn't change that. Listen. All right, this might give me a little bit of heat. Well, Yuka Sakasaki's not around, so I can't say her. But I like the magical girls, but also I can't say her. This one might give me a little heat, and I don't care. I love Willow Nightingale, but I think her coming out here and waving and smiling is not a character, in my opinion. Here, I don't know what happened to the Rebel, not Reba. I don't know what happened to her. That's actually a good question. You would have to ask other people that because I have no fucking clue. But I think Willow Nightingale could have worked as a heel. I would have loved to seen a heel Willow Nightingale. We were going into that direction, and either Tony Khan got cold feet or something, or somebody got cold feet. But I would have loved to seen what that would look like here. Let's be real. Giulia Hart joining the House of Black saved Julia Hart's career, and she even said this here. Had she remained a cheerleader, I don't think Giulia Hart would still be in AEW right now. No, I love Harley Cameron right now, so I wouldn't change anything about her. She is fucking hilarious. I love what they're doing with her. So I love what she's doing there. Now, if you ask me, who would you send from AEW? Who would you send from AEW to WWE? Well, I got answers to that one. For men, well, I'm not gonna throw Malakai Black in there because it looks like he's going back anyways. So, Ricky Starks, I would send to WWE. I would also send, even though he's doing great stuff right now, I kind of would love to see Brody King in there. Just for the sheer fact I want to see Brody King versus names like Gunther and Bronson Reed and Sheamus. I want to see those type of matches. Miro, yeah, that's another name. But yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think anything much would change for Miro in a WWE either because he didn't really do much in NXT either. So okay, now you're just trying to be funny there. Um, let's see who did I say already? So I said Ricky Starks. I would if it was up to me, I would just let Phoenix go. Um, um, Sheeta, I would absolutely send her. Because, listen, I know the reason. Listen, the reason that we all know the reason Sheeta actually signed with AEW is because Tony Khan agreed to let her keep doing her Maki stuff. That stuff is over with now. Uh, they don't. She's a three-time AEW. She's the longest-running AEW Women's Champion, and they don't treat her as such. And she's one of the best that they have in the companies, and it's kind of Wardlow's another one too. I knew it was somebody, Wardlow. But yeah, I would send because based on how WWE has been treating their Joshis, Cheetah would actually do a lot better in WWE because look at the amount of Joshis that have success. Asuka, the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion of all time, the greatest NXT Women's Champion of all time, even though Shayna Baszler is the second, number 2 on that end. And then you have Giulia, who just won the NXT Women's Championship, who's going to be a future main event star for this company. I'll answer that heel turn thing in a second here. Io Sky, regardless of how you feel about her title run or not, has had nothing but killer matches. She had one of the best years last year. She had three match of the year candidates. That one banger episode she had on not banger episode. That doesn't make sense. Banger match she had with Bianca just randomly on Raw. The WrestleMania match that she had with Bailey, which is very underappreciated, and I hate that people don't appreciate that match as much as they should. And then the match with Utami at Marty Gold. Now she didn't have enough match of your candidates as much as Mayu Utani did, because Mayu Utani I think Mayu Utani tends to have banger matches in her sleep. I don't know why, but she does. And obviously Io, who is on the verge of having another WrestleMania match with Rhea Ripley. That is the planned match. Hopefully she wins the Royal Rumble. But I'm begging you, Hunter. Everyone's playing. Just book her to win the Royal Rumble. That's all you have to do. Book her to win the Royal Rumble. Book the match with Rhea. We'll all be happy. Jay White should have went to WWE. I think he was going to go to WWE, but then Vince is like, "No, we're gonna sell the company and we're gonna do a hiring freeze." I think the hiring freeze ended when Nia Jax came back. Company. I think. I think that's what happened because I believe AOP was already signed before the hiring freeze happened. You mentioned Sheeta's heel turn. Man, I thought we were going into a direction where Sheeta was going to turn heel because they were teasing it, and then you just fucking. Has Sheeta been on television since? When was the last time? When was the last time Sheeta was on television here? Hikaru Shida. That's a good question. Shida. Shida. Which is a woman I wish had more TV time. So Shida has not been on television since November 20th, where she lost to Chris Statlander on Dynamite. That was the last time she had been on television. The Righteous, look, I like Dutch, I like Vincent. I think Tony Khan ruined them too when he had the balls to just have MJF bury them on whatever show. Was it Full Gear? Was it the same Full Gear? Was that Full Gear? I don't even know what show that was. Was that the same show where they decided to have MJF beat uh, fucking Jay White with one leg or whatever it was? I don't know. Anyway. Oh, speaking of, all right, so let's go back to the windmere. So Sheeta's one I would send over there. Sheeta's the obvious one there, but let me look here. I had another answer here. Um. Hmm. I'm not gonna say her because she's not technically not signed, so I can't really. Jamie Hayter. That's another one. There it is. Jamie Hayter. That's what I'm thinking of. I was Wrestle Dream. I couldn't remember if it was Full Gear or Wrestle Dream. Jamie Hayter's another name. Like, my God. Jamie Hayter had one of my favorite runs as the AEW Women's Champion. Has not felt like a big deal since coming back. She came back in a fucking pre-show. And has not felt important since. Like, I can't, like, by himself, by the way. I just want to point out, he faced him by himself. And let's not talk about it, but I don't know. I'm not calling him Cope, okay? He's Edge. He's going to be Edge until the day that I die. Until the day that he dies. He will forever be known as Edge. I'm not calling him Adam Copeland. I'm not calling him Cope. I'm not calling him Adam. I'm not calling him CP. I'm not calling him AC. All right? He's Edge. He's always going to be. This is the thing. Like who was it? There's another wrestler in AEW that I refuse to call them by their other name. It's just like I've gotten used to the John Moxley thing, so that's fine. It might just be Edge. I'm just used to calling him Edge, so I'm not going to call him anything else. Though Malakai Black is the funny thing. So there's occasions I will call him Aleister Black, which is just how things are. So when he goes back to WWE, I'll probably make the mistake of calling him Malakai Black. Though when he does, I'm just hoping to God he gets to use Root of All Evil again, because that song was a fucking banger. But yeah, the Rock stuff. I got sidetracked there. He said nothing of a no. I don't think he's going to be at WrestleMania. Oh, I was actually going through potential card matches which wouldn't involve the Rock here. So let's go back to singles matches. I did the thought of Braun Breaker versus Jacob Fatu for the Intercontinental title. Yes, please. Now Penta's got to be factored into WrestleMania. What does he do? I personally would like to see a heel Penta versus a Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. Okay, that's just the fan in me that wants to see that. We're gonna see a banger match between Gable and Penta on Monday, so that's gonna be great. Yeah, he's coming in as Penta, my guy. So if he's coming in as Penta, that would answer your question. Wait, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Penta or are you talking about Malakai? If you're talking about Penta, yes. Malakai, maybe. I mean, do not get me started with FTR. Fucking Dax got okay. So, what was this? When did this happen? That Dax had said some stupid ass shit about something, and then I said something, and then he blocked me for it. I don't remember what it was, but he got butthurt about something that he's always getting butthurt about. Oh, I remember now. So the whole thing with CM Punk, and then he got butthurt about the whole CM Punk thing, and then we tried to tell him he was wrong or something and whatnot, and he blocked me for it. So fuck him. So yeah. I mean, he could. I mean, he could. I mean, the fact that he brought over that gimmick from WWE, which is to AEW, which I'm surprised he did it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. But if he is already done with WWE, not WWE, if he's already done with AEW, I can absolutely see him do it. If he is done already, he'll be in the Royal Rumble. But if not, Raw after WrestleMania. I don't know. Let's see what other matches we got that can. That's obvious. So obviously we got the rumored plan matches of Cena, Cody, Gunther, Rollins, Punk, Roman, Wyatt's Judgment Day, Io, Rhea, Tiffany. This one's not really a rumored match. It's just a match that makes sense. It's Tiffany and Charlotte. Think about this women's wrestling wise. So think about these matches that are possibly happening at WrestleMania weekend. So for NXT, you got the Giulia versus Stephanie Victoria NXT women's title match. Then on WrestleMania, you got Charlotte and Tiffany, Rhea and Io, and what I think they're going to do with Becky is Becky and Lyra. And sign me up for all four of those matches. Listen, I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan, but Charlotte versus Tiffany should be an excellent match. So, yeah, no, Malakai is basically confirmed. Like when that whole thing came out about the 2027 thing, Malakai said that was full of shit. And I'm like, well, and we were all like, well, why don't you take that up with your boss? Because he's the one who said it. So, but I forgot who was. I forgot who was reported it earlier, that like a few months ago, that Malakai's contract is up early 2025, and looks to be the case because he's not been mentioned on television. Like, okay, he's been mentioned. He hasn't wrestled since Full Gear last year, and during the Continental Classic or any. They've not mentioned Malakai Black during the Brody King matches. He was not mentioned tonight on television. He was not mentioned at Dynasty. So, or even during Giulia Hart's match against Jamie Hayter. So, I just think he's done. Yeah, but like I said I think it was at the start of this one because I had to redo this stream because. For some reason my stream crashed. I don't know why. But I said I think he had been checked out for a while now, and you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that he's ready. He was ready to get out of there. So, but yeah, that's basically what I have for NXT. I thought NXT was a very good show. I'm gonna try for real next week to actually do a review. To see how we get because they're probably gonna do a celebration for Giulia and Oba Femi. So very happy for Giulia though, and also a lot of the Marty Gold roster members started congratulating Giulia too. We saw Utami, the current new Marty Gold World Champion, tweet at her, the new United National Champion. Mai Sakurai, who has a lot of history with Giulia in Donna Del Mondo and stuff like that. No, the match was oh my god, what was it for? There was no really like stipulation. The only stipulation that was if Malakai Black won, he'd have to, I guess, kiss his feet or something like that, or acknowledge. It was weird. It didn't make no sense to me at all. And then Edge decided to fucking break his leg by doing a dive that didn't need to happen. But you know, that's a good question actually. Who does Oba Femi face next? Well, my prediction for Stand and Deliver is Oba Femi versus Javon Evans. But until then, I could see them. I could see them doing Oba Femi versus Eddie Trope at Vengeance Day to hold that over. Same thing with Cora Jade and doing possibly getting a match with Giulia at the same show, just to get those out of the way, but save the big matches for WrestleMania weekend. Speaking of Stardom, some news came out for Stardom on Tuesday, which I was very it was a very odd decision that they made, but they made some rule changes to the High Speed Championship. No longer is it your you know, I guess that's what it was here, but yeah, I think Trick is going up to the main roster, so I don't think he's getting a rematch. Same thing with Roxanne. As I said earlier, I don't think Trick Williams is ready for the main roster, but Roxanne is absolutely ready. So, I don't know if they're going to send people back to NXT because I would have thought they would have done that during the draft, but they didn't. But we'll see. But the High Speed Championship title rules have changed. Stardom announced that the new rules to the High Speed title change, whatever. You know what I meant. So it's now a 10-minute match. It's a best of best of three falls. Pinfalls, submissions, countouts, whatever. I don't know why they think winning this. I think New Japan does the same thing where count out, you win the title. It's a weird stipulation. This is a very important. So unlike their normal matches where you get a 20 count for New Japan and Stardom, the new title rules are 10 counts like you see on Dynamite or in AEW and WWE and Ring of Honor and your regular rules of a match here. And I believe the other one is if the match is tied and when the time limit expires, the champion retains. Well, obviously, that obviously would happen. So currently, the champion right now is Mei Seira, and she's going to be defending the championship against Saki Kashima, which I actually have. Well, I did have them. Oh, here we go. Nope. Hold on a second. I just had the freaking card announcement here a few minutes ago. And now I gotta find it again. Hold on. Oh, here we go. I don't know why I went to schedule here. No, this is not it. Hold on. I just just had it. Why did it all of a sudden? Hold on a second. Hang on. All right, let me go through my history here because I don't know where the fuck this. Okay, hang on a second. Let's see. Let me look this up here. I have to look this up now because it fucking. Okay, here we go. Found it. All right. I found what I found it again. I don't know where it went to. It disappeared on me when the whole thing crashed. So all right, so they got a show coming up on Saturday and Sunday, both in Nagoya. So here is some of the cards here for the first show on Saturday. We got we got some tournament matches here. They're finally gonna fight challengers for the artist titles again. Thank God, because Cosmic Angels has not defended those titles since winning them. I know Tam was the world champion, and I know Natsupoi was the white belt champion, but they've since lost their titles. So it's time to actually, defend them. But here is what we got here. So I'm kind of cool. They got a tournament here. So we got Hazuki, Saida, and Momokogo of Stars. They're going to take on Yumi Minozori, Aya Sakura. Of course they are. They're going to take on Aya Sakura, Saikakurara of Cosmic Angels. Because, of course, you want to have Cosmic Angels being around titles again. I think Stars is going to pick that one up. We also got, I think they're going to be facing the winner of this team here. It's Hanan. Or no, Hina. Sorry, not Hanan. This is a different group. Lady C and Rina Yagami of God's Eye are going to take on Natsuko Toro, Rina, and Fukuji Death of Hate. Is. By the way, if you guys know, if you watch the year-end award, Rina won I think it's most improved for an 18-year-old, which is crazy. The three-way battle, which I don't think. Oh, by the way, for who I think is going to win that match, I think I'm going to go with Hate for that one, and then the babyface heel dynamic there, because Stars is the babyface team, and Hate is obviously the heels. A three-way battle, which I don't think is for anything, but Sardiano, Wakatukiyama, and Matoya Toy, the new cat who are trying to get into a faction. She wants to join God's Eye. We'll see in that end there. I think I'm going to go with Sardiano to get the win there, to get her. Well, she won at the pay-per-view, but, I like Sardiano. So, 8-woman tag match. Shiri, Saki Kashima, Tomika Inaba, and Sayaka Nope. Nope. I'm trying to see if that's who I think that is. Hang on a second. I don't want to discredit this other name here. So, give me a second here. I'm reading off a not Ami Saray. Is it? Oh, is it no? Is it? Oh, that makes sense. That's the new girl. Oh, that's oh my God, what is her name? Oh God, I see. Why do I not have this name listed in here? She was. Oh, okay. You know what I can do? I can look this up. Stardom. New Dream. She wrestled at New Year Dream, so I can figure out her name now. Okay, let me find it here. Okay, so Kayoka Katsuya. This is the new girl that they brought in from Glee. It took me a second to figure out who that was. Okay. They're going to take on Neo Genesis's Starlight Kid, Maysara, Suzu Suzuki, and Miyu Amazaki. I'm gonna go with Neo Genesis to get the win there, because I like Neo Genesis. Starlight Kid's one of my favorites. Most of the people in that faction is like some of my favorites here. Tag team match. We have Meltier, Tam Nakano and Natsupoi taking on Devil. No, they're not taking on Devil Princesses. It's Raka and Isusa Inaba. I also like. He's pretty cool too. I'm assuming this is the main event here. We got Athena teaming with Hanan and Koguma of Stars taking on Saya Kamatani, Momo Watanabe, and Tekla. Of course, Saya Kamatani, current World Stardom Champion, teaming with the woman who won the Fatal 4-Way match at Wrestle Dynasty, gets to choose any championship of her choosing. I know a lot of people think she's going to choose Ring of Honor because she pinned Athena. But if you are not new to the show, you've known how I do things here and how I fantasy book, you know who I know. I don't know this, but based on how I've watched the product, the started product, that is, you would know who I think she's going to go after. He basically said it in an interview in the post-match, says, well, there is one other thing I want. It's important to me, and I know what that is. It's not the IWGP Championship, but it's the other one she said she wanted to go after. The World of Stardom title. At some point, she's gonna snap on Hate, and I'm gonna love every bit of it. So I'm gonna go for that here. I'm gonna go Hate to get the win here, because Tekla is challenging Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship on Monday. We got the second show that's gonna take place in Nagoya. We got the winner. So this is so this was the finals thing here. So who did I say was going to with the? I said it was going to be Stars here. So it's good. So I'm going to go with Stars taking on Hate, and I think Stars are going to get the win here. So I'm going to go with Hazuki, Saida, and Momo Kogo. They're going to eventually. I think they're going to challenge the Cosmic Angels for the artist titles. For you new guys, that's the Trios Championships in Stardom. So, this is the preliminary. I don't think is this the match here. Okay, so, so they're doing like a team versus team here. So we're gonna have it's Athena's team versus Tekla's team. We're not gonna know the team members until that day, so I'm not gonna pronounce. So same thing with the Mesera Saki Kashima thing here. They're doing some type of I don't know how many team members this is, but we got a 6-woman tag match, non-title. Which means so we're not gonna know. It's the trios champions. I'm not going to announce the boy in Sariano versus to be announced. So the day before, we'll figure that out here. So Hina and Rina, Hanan and Rina, is it either Hina or Hanan? Yes, are going to be so apparently having a coming of age ceremony. I have no. What does that even mean? Oh, is that Japanese? Is that a full Japanese thing? And I'm think is that so a coming of age ceremony is a celebration of or ritual that remarks the transition from childhood to adulthood. Oh, that's right, because they're 18 now, so it is Hina and Rina. So yeah, that makes sense. Mayu Utani, Maika, Mina Shirakawa, Hanako, and Azumi will be absent due to their because they'll be on the Battle in the Valley show, so that's why they're not going to be there. So that makes sense here. And then we got the January 13th show, Monday, I guess it's a national holiday. Athena will defend the Ring of Honor World Women's Championship against Tekla. I think Athena's going to retain there, and then Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Sadiano will defend the winner. Gets the winners of the tournament. I want to see them win the trio styles because they're doing not to win them. So there's that. And then we got Mesera versus Saki Kashima for the High-Speed Championship. Araka will be absent due to, I guess, how the fuck old is it? Hold on, how old is Araka? I don't even know how old this woman is. How old is she? 20? Okay. I guess so. Okay. I did not know that. So yeah. That's basically it when it comes to Stardom. Very looking forward to the Stardom stuff here. I don't know if there's any other. Oh God! See now, Muda's just loving having Omos around. Omos, by the way, is the new tag team champion in Pro Wrestling Noah. So, I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen there. We'll see on that end. Oh, look at that! I'm just seeing clips of Aleister Black masking people. Can't wait for that. Ooh. Momo Kogo. Oh, Momo Kogo just liked my tweet. That's funny. So earlier today, Mayu Utani put out a video because they were doing, I guess, an award show or something, and Momo Kogo came along with Mayu. And Momo was like fully asleep, and Mayu's like trying to wake her up, and gets up and just looks around, and she's like out of it, like she's like totally half asleep. And I replied with what did I say? Momo. I said Momo was out of it, LOL, and she liked the tweet, which I thought was pretty funny. She was though, so I'm not that surprised that she liked the tweet. She's funny. He is hilarious. I don't think it's on purpose that she's hilarious. It just happens. so I'm gonna give some other news here. This is a little short news here. So we have the first four announcements for the Men's Royal Rumble match. We got LA Knight, which is I guess I apparently did on SmackDown. I don't remember this. John Cena, CM Punk, and Jey Uso did announce their participants in the Royal Rumble match. So that's gonna happen here. So yeah. Yeah, so I got a question for you guys. Do you think Jacob Fatu is going to turn on Solo Sikoa on SmackDown? That's a question I would like to know. I think he is. And when it happens, the crowd's going to lose their goddamn mind over it because Jacob Fatu is just great. It's going to go from it was on Monday. It was I love you Solo, and then on Friday it's going to be I hate you Solo. It's going to be glorious. And I can't wait. Hopefully, it's hopefully what it is. I'm trying to see if I have any other like news here. Let's see if Fightful Select has any other news here. Actually, I do want to see. Oh, WWE 2K25. They're gonna have some news on that on the 28th. Roman Reigns looks to be the cover artist for that game, which is fine, I guess. So I'm assuming everybody who was DLC for 24 is gonna be in the game for 25. So yeah, let's see if Malakai Black. So far Malakai Black has not responded to any of the reports that he might be leaving. So yeah, that's interesting. He has not responded to anything. So maybe there is some truth to it. We'll see. We will see. I'm trying to see again if there's any well, that's a random tweet there. Okay, so I'm looking. If that guy was the Young Bucks. Oh, so the IWGP committee has formally retired the KOPW championship. So thank God. Listen, all right, I'm gonna have to be honest with you guys here. Like, I don't know why anybody is expecting differently with these games. I mean, I'm gonna play them because I'd much rather play a 2K game than fucking fight forever. Okay, but this is coming from a guy who's been playing these games for a long time. They've never actually changed. Like the games that everyone says the GOAT games, and my favorite game is SmackDown versus Raw 2007. But if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, the game that we got it's been the same game since the very first SmackDown game. If I'm like nothing like come on now. But why I enjoy playing 2K a lot more is because I'm able to mod 2K. I got all three games. I got 19, 22. Well, 22 I got annoyed with because it kept crashing on me, so I said fuck it. 23 I had less crashing, which is fine. Thank God. And 24 I've been working on some modding on that. So yeah, but 19 was basically the same game though. Like there's no difference. I mean, roster size, baby. It was the same game. So, I know 2K14 was the first peak. So I can't tell you how glad I was to get rid of stop hearing a blow my mind. And then when I found out 2K20 sucked, and was unplayable. I had to, thankfully. Oh no, wait! I don't think. Well, I don't think with 2K19 that was that even possible? Was it? I gotta and see now. I'm gonna have to find out because I'm not entirely sure if it was possible to change the soundtrack from 2K19. um. I know it was possible. It took me a while to figure out how on 22, and then it crashed. But like, I let me tell you what I replaced on 2K19, 2K24 soundtrack, right? Now I gotta go find it here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Gonna go here. Gonna go because I got a second notes area. So I have this thing called Tribute where I can actually because I have a thing where I can add more than what was on there. So my 2K24 soundtrack is loaded. So the main soundtrack, right? So the main songs that were in the game, were replaced. So I replaced them with my good friend Yumi Nakamura. She is the guitarist and founder of Iron Roses, which you guys can check out. Their new album, Steamheart Chronicles, available now on Bandcamp. There's a song on there that's not on on Steamheart Chronicles called Crimson Serenade. I replaced that with I replaced Post Malone's Chemical with that song. A K-pop artist named Alexa. She has a song called Back in Vogue. I replaced Post Malone's Laugh It Off with that. I replaced Hand Crushed by a Mallet with Feel Good Inc. by Gorillaz. I took the song, the Busta Rhymes song that's on there. I replaced that with Hold On by Lion. I took the Motorcycle song by Colton Walter. Replaced that with Wind Doves Cry by Prince. Song Do It Faster. I replaced that with Love Gun by Kiss. Which let's be real. The Do It Faster thing, I had to replace that with Love Gun. It was just too perfect. And by the way, the K-pop stuff, I blame that on Starlight Kid because she's got me hooked on some of that stuff. The Big Rig Pigs crap. I replaced that with Look at Me by Twice. That Not Nice by Speed. That was replaced by More Justice by Damian Marley. The Genesis song was replaced by Down Under by Men at Work. Mystery was replaced by Boomaya by Blackpink. Housefire was replaced by Billie Jean. And then Better Off was replaced by Stupefy by Disturbed. And then the songs I added via Tribute, which was basically the songs that were leftover tracks from 23. So Sad But True was replaced by the other Metallica song, Four Horsemen. The Red Hot Chili Pepper song, I replaced that with Mermaider by Death Clock. The Doja Cat song, I replaced with Simbo Zakra by Wakaki Band. The Let It Down song was replaced by the Attack on Titan theme because I'm a fucking nerd to do that. Another band a newer band that I started listening to, called Crimson Legion, they replaced the That's a Rap song with Tales of the Black Pearl. The Lil Baby song, Ramen and OJ thing, Divine Attack, which is now by Baby Metal. The X-Men Japanese theme song is what replaced my Bullet for My Valentine's, No More Tears. Rocky Your Hot Like a Hurricane replaced the Omar Cortez song thing. Changes by Ace Frehley replaced the SVUV's whatever song it was. So the Post Malone Ozzy Osbourne song I did replace with Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Jack by Hardy was placed by Ghosts in the Ruins by Sabotage. And then the unreleased song that didn't make it, because they did actually have plans to put Blackpink on 23. That I replaced that with Unconscious Power by Iron Butterfly. So that just make like my little soundtrack that I listed on there too. So which I do some 2K24 stuff. I got to get ready for my because I had plans to do a Continental Classic on my totally original uh, uh, universe mode type thing called WAW Wrestling. It's not related to the one that's ran by Paige's family. You can just type in WAW Wrestling 2K, and you'll see it. It's a picture of Jay White and Io Sky. They are the current champions right now. I'm going to tell you my current champions right now. Why not? Because we're done with the news talk. Let's do some stuff here. So I got it up on my here. I got a huge ass WAW roster, by the way. So the champions currently are Jay White. He is the current WAW World Champion. Io Sky is the current she's a two-time WAW Women's Champion. Current Intercontinental Champion is Malakai Black. I might have to change his name back to Aleister Black soon. WAW Tag Team Champions are the Wyatt Six, which is currently Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. I introduced a women's tag team titles that is currently held by the Kabuki Warriors, which is quite funny. When I'm going to be honest with you, the women's tag team titles I have on here are only held by Joshi wrestlers. So I should tell you something. I have a non-canon IWGP Women's title. And yes, currently Mayu Iwatani is the actual champion, but in my universe, it's currently held by Tam Nakano. And then I introduced a Women's International Champion, and it's held by my original Joshi wrestler named Ayumi. She is the current champion. We do have a WrestleMania show coming up, though, currently. And I'm actually going to give you the card right now because I'm gonna break the news, the card news right now because why the fuck not? Because I can. It is my show, so why not? So WrestleMania 2024 or 2025 for my show at least was originally going to be. I had plans to put this show in Seoul, South Korea, and I had graphics and everything. Like I had this great South Korean WrestleMania logo made, and I was disappointed when I found out that South Korea was not a city to use. It's not a country that I could use in the credit show thing. But Saudi Arabia is perfectly fine, apparently. So we changed it to Chicago. So here's the card. It's 2 nights because I'm gonna be honest with you. I think WWE stole the 2-night thing from me because I did it first. So night 1, we got a Soldier Field. So we got men's Money in the Bank ladder match because I want to put these on here. I got Jacob Fatu versus Adam Cole versus Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn versus Will Ospreay versus Andrade, and I'll tell you what, man, me putting my cards together, I tell you, I put some banger cards together. Like that ladder match fucking rocks. Okay, I don't know who I have planned to go over yet, but I'll think about that. The IWGP Women's Championship is on the line. Tam Nakano defends against Giulia. Konosuke Takeshita will take on Bryan Danielson. The Wyatt Six will defend the World Tag Team titles against the Guerrillas of Destiny. I have a Chicago Street Fight, Seth Rollins versus Jon Moxley. So Kairi Sane is planning to win the Women's Royal Rumble match. She will challenge Io Sky for the WAW Women's title in the main event on night 1, CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. I kid you not, I had this match planned before WWE did. The night 2 Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Asuka versus Starlight Kid versus Becky Lynch versus Azumi versus Roxanne Perez versus Utami Hayashishita. I just keep updoing myself. Kota Rhodes versus Gunther. Ayumi will defend the Women's International Championship against her mentor, Micah. Uncle Howdy versus Eric Young. Intercontinental Championship match. Aleister Black will defend against Kenny Omega. And in the main event, Jay White will defend the WAW World Title against Shingo Takagi. So, yes. By the way, that tells you Shingo Takagi is planning to win the Royal Rumble. So yeah. But yeah. First of all, I want to give a big shout out for people who did actually join up to the stream. I think we might be having some new people here, which I don't remember seeing William Berg here. I don't remember seeing Travis here, and I don't know if Jordan was here before. But I'm glad that they did stop by. And yeah, so usually I'm here every week doing streams. I started doing the streaming stuff. When did I start doing that? I don't actually remember when I started doing the regular streams here. I used to just do recordings, but now I'm having fun doing the streams now. So, yeah. But I will be back here on Friday night, hopefully for Friday night. As long as I'm not tired by the end of the night. I don't know what else is it. Is there anything really in? Oh, that's right, Nakamura and LA Knight for the United States Championship. I don't know. There might be something else announced for that show. If there is, I don't fucking remember. So we'll see that. But other than that, I will see you guys back here for SmackDown. Joe Tessitore is gonna be. We'll see how Joe Tessitore does. I very look forward to seeing Joe Tessitore call a Shinsuke Nakamura match for the first time. Let's see how he does here, because he fucking loses his mind for Io Sky matches. So let's see how he does for Nakamura. And whoever else is on the show too. So, yeah. But yeah. I think that's about it. I think I don't have any other news unless people have other questions for me. Not. I'm gonna get the heck up out of here. Because it's now 3:00 and I want to go to bed. So yeah. Yeah. First of all, again, I want to give my thoughts and prayers to folks in California. Stay safe. I don't know. I don't know how forest fires have started. I've seen some people start them because they're fucking stupid morons. But again, listen, John Lee. Before I just seen the message now about the 2K20 thing. Look, I feel like a lot of people mainly now only say. I think a lot of people will say that when somebody asks what's say one positive thing about 2K20, my answer is always the Fiend. that's it. That game gave us the Fiend. That's all I'll say on that one. But again, thoughts and prayers out to the good folks in California and whoever's in that path of the not the house fires, the wildfires. I feel like there's always some type of I feel like they have wildfires like every other month. Not all the time, but I'm exaggerating, but you know what I meant. But yeah, I'm cold now because I get this damn fan. My fan's on low and it still is cold as fuck. Rumors that we might get snow this weekend. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. Because listen. I live in the South, right? It barely fucking snows here, so it's a rare thing when it happens. I do remember the first time it had stuck. And it was fucking everywhere. And then there was a second time. One time it happened directly. It was right after Christmas, and then I think it was the day after Christmas, and then it was technically a winter storm, but we were told we were getting snow, and it stuck, and I know my mom. She loves Pepsis, right? So So this gets a kick out of me all the time because I have the picture of it too. I'm not gonna show it here, but we posted on Facebook when I use Facebook, and and she put like 2 Pepsi bottles outside in the snow to get cold, and it worked apparently. She seen somebody else doing it. She tried it. And it was like, Mom, what are you doing? No, I will not do that. I've tried walking in snow before, and like my shoe got caught in it one time, and I'm like, nope, nope, never doing that again. So, but yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm gonna go finish watching the rest of the Solid Monsters podcast, because out of the two people who do TNT, that show, Solid Monsters, the better man. If I'm being honest here, one of the things I like about Solid Monsters, and it's something I try to go to on my show, is I listen. I don't call. Listen, I'll call people like if they absolutely deserve it, right? But like, if you are terrible at what you do, if you're my thing is when he doesn't always go like, oh, well, I'm right, you're wrong, right? Like he appreciates the opinions, right? Even if they're dumb ones, right? That's why I am. I don't give a fuck. All right. Everyone has an opinion. And all opinions are like, and everybody else has assholes. All opinions are like that, right? But yeah. By the way, shout out to the Solid Monster. He did. I don't know if you saw it, but he did win wrestling YouTube channel of 2024 for my podcast, at least. No, I don't nominate myself because that would be fucking ridiculous if I did that. Yeah, you don't see me coming up on here and saying, "Oh, I'm the #1 wrestling podcast in the world." I don't I don't give a fuck if people see my show or not. If they do, cool. If not, whatever. I got this podcast because I love professional wrestling, and yes, do I fucking rant on things whether it's AEW or whether it's something stupid WWE does? Yes. I love professional wrestling. I'm not gonna be this the whole comment of every time somebody tells me, oh, if you don't like it, don't watch. I'm like, fuck you. Right? Like, whatever. I want these shows to get better, right? For years, and this is before I started, because I didn't start doing this show until Vince was gone. Triple H took over creative, and Clash at the Castle was my first real podcast that I did. Yes, I did. My review of All Out 2021 when CM Punk came back to wrestling. I did that because it was a big deal. CM Punk coming back to wrestling, and that was the night where we saw Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson debut. So, but yeah, I count Clash at the Castle as my debut podcast episode. And for a while, I was doing stuff. I know there were every now and then, like you guys will notice every now and then I don't do this show because whether it's I've had a rough night or whatever, or if I've been busy, I can't do the show. For example, there's some nights that I just can't do the show. So there was a week. Though I did take like 3 weeks off due to Vince ruining my night when he came back. Did the shit he did on that Raw after WrestleMania and pissed everyone off. And thankfully, we don't have to deal with that anymore. Thank God. But now this Raw and Smack WWE's is in a better place now without that fucking senile piece of shit around. Michael Cole is having the most fun of his life in here. Triple H is Triple H is yes, Triple H is not buddy with everybody, but he's also not, you know, acting like you don't matter. You know, he'll listen to you. That's something Vince didn't do. So from everything that I've heard backstage from people, it's a different environment, and I'm just glad that they're thriving now. Expensive shit to go to now, but you know, so we'll see. But yeah, hopefully my plan. I don't know what I'm gonna do for the weekend. Because usually this show is a weekend show. Usually this is a Sunday show, but I don't usually have time to do it on the Sundays or Saturdays because, you know, now AEW has a fucking pay-per-view every month, and obviously WWE has one. WWE, this is the first time in a long time the WWE is not going to have a pay-per-view this month. I'm not used to it not being in January. So we'll see. But right now I will give my early predictions for the Royal Rumble winners. I don't think John Cena's winning it. I don't know who's going to win the men's. I am picking Io Sky to win the women's though. So there's that. But yeah, plan for this weekend. Hopefully, SmackDown. Depending whether or not Stardom is streaming their shows tonight. I know the one on Monday is going to be streamed. I don't know about the ones on Saturday and Sunday. If they are, I'll talk to Jason to see if he wants to do like a show, watch along or something here. I will tell you this though: if I do another watch along, you will not hear the audio of the show because I got hit with that. So, you know, yeah, but yeah. I want to thank John Alita, who always comes on these shows. I would like to thank William Berg, who I don't know if that's a joke on Goldberg's name. If it is, very funny. Travis Richard joining in, Jordan Parsons. Which I might have Jordan on Twitter as well. I don't know. But yeah, I will see you guys back here for SmackDown. Hopefully, as long as the show doesn't suck. WWE will be back to schedule next week with their regular scheduled banger shows. Obviously, Monday Night Raw is going to have the finals of the Intercontinental Championship match: Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria. I'm picking Lyra to win that one, and then possibly see Becky Lynch come out after that. Pentagon going to take on. Obviously, it's going to be Penta versus Chad Gable. Give them fucking 15 minutes and let Penta blow y'all's minds. Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, which I hope after that match it's done with, and I'm hoping this is also the end of Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I think it's a street fight or something. Anyways, I will see you guys here for SmackDown. Until then, I've been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. This has been the Piledriver Pulse version 2 because my fucking shit crashed on me. Yeah. Till then, we're out. Peace.